Come on, what is Landry Shamet doing here? You're not a part of this ball screen. DeAndre Ayton's fine in drop coverage. Could you please stay home on Kevin Porter? Like, why are you standing in the paint? Like, what is this accomplishing? Like, so now you're going to be late to get out to Kevin Porter, who can just rip and go, draw a second defender, and Jalen Green's open. For DeAndre Ayton, you got to box out. Stop. So right now, turn your body and box out. Use the lower half. You drive Alperen Sengun back. Like, this standing and watching. Well, now Alperen Sengun gets to hang around underneath the basket, and that's not good. If you're DeAndre Ayton, like, you see that your man Alperen Sengun is setting a screen. So get your feet set and get in a defensive stance. You got to be in drop. You got to be able to stunt at the ball, but also slide over. Like DeAndre, look at DeAndre Ayton. This is not, no. You're backpedaling. It's terrible defense from Mikal Bridges. The only thing you should be focusing on is getting over the screen. So because you gamble right here, and let's show that gamble right there means it's going to take you even longer to get over this screen. So now Kevin Porter can snake dribble, keep you on his back, and you're never able to guard the ball. Okay, this is it. DeAndre Ayton apparently is afraid of an entry pass to Alperen Sengun getting made right here. So when you're guarding the ball like this, stop. Guard the ball. Look at DeAndre Ayton. Look at him backing up here. You're trying to deflect an entry pass? Well, what about deflecting a open three? Just laziness, that's all this is. You can't backpedal in transition. What was Landry Shamet doing this whole time? Why are your feet not set? Why are you not in a defensive stance? Like, this laziness is going to be the reason why Jalen Green cooks you. When you're in drop coverage, you have to go over the screen. You cannot go under in drop coverage. The angle, you're never going to be able to guard the ball. Okay, this is bad transition defense. The shot goes up. Mikal Bridges cannot just stand and watch. You got to start to sprint back and transition here because if you and this Suns player too. I mean, if you're just standing and watching, like, transition defense becomes a real problem. This pass gets kicked out. If you're these two Suns players right here, especially this Suns player, you got to be battling for positioning now. There can be no waiting. Like, look at this. Like, look at the Suns player right here. You're just standing around and standing around and standing around. Well, look what happened now. Who has inside positioning? If you are DeAndre Ayton, you contest this shot here, but your job is not done. Your reaction here needs to be to box out. By the way, these other four Suns players should have the same reaction, but apparently don't. So if you're Chris Paul, you can't go under a screen unless you're avoiding contact with the screener. And this is Eric Gordon, so why would you want to do that anyways? DeAndre Ayton also needs to get up here. Like, if he wants to be in drop coverage, like, have your feet set. Like, what Chris Paul needs to be fighting over the screen is the point. I mean, this is garbage. Okay, now DeAndre Ayton is in drop coverage here off the ball screen. So Mikal Bridges has to stay home on Jalen Green. I mean, what... I mean, this is absurd. Like, what is Mikal Bridges doing? Okay, so Chris Paul calls for a switch here. Like, you can see him communicating that right now. Well, if you're switching here, then you need to get over here and you need to battle for positioning with Jabari Smith now. Like, look at Chris Paul. I mean, this is pretty weak right here. This is unbelievable. So the Suns are in drop coverage off of a pick and roll. Let Bismack Biyombo, hopefully he's going to get in a defense that he can stunt at the ball and recover to Sengun. This player cannot leave the weak side wing right here to come over and guard Jalen Green. Like, of course you're going to be out of position. Look at this. What? Bismack Biyombo is fine here in drop coverage. Why is Chris Paul coming over here to double? Look at this. What is Chris Paul accomplishing by doing this? So, and you have a player in the gaps here anyways. So, what is happening? Stop backpedaling. Sprint. Back. Feet. Set. If you backpedal, well, I've just now backpedaled into an open three. Okay, we have too many people staring at the shot. First of all, Mikal Bridges, just get back, okay? Trying to come in late to get an offensive rebound is a disaster if you don't get it. And this player that took the shot, get back. Like, again, when you have four people beneath the free throw line, then transition defense. So this is what happens when you have, look at, so Bismarck Biyombo's boxing out, but not one other Suns player is boxing out. So a long rebound is likely going to the offense. This is very much on Mikal Bridges here. So he's going to try and set up this he wants this Rockets player. He wants the drop coverage to be right here. Well, you have got to wait to get over here until this player actually comes and sets a screen. Look at you're already moving. This player hasn't even set the screen. So now he can just start rolling early. So that's a problem because now we need a backside defender and Damian Lee in the corner. Okay, I mean, obviously in transition, the first thing you have to do is stop the ball. So then why is Damian Lee here backpedaling seemingly into the stanchion? Okay, to call this trash defense by Chris Paul is an insult to trash defense itself. Like, get your feet set in a defensive stance. What is Chris Paul doing here? So you're going to go uphill now, and as this player's going downhill. That is not going to be effective. This is mind-boggling. Stop. Get your feet set. How many times does backpedaling have to not work before that stops? Here we go again. Shot goes up. Let's see who's boxing out. Oh, that's no one that's boxing out. That's good. Okay, so if you want to set up this guard, Kevin Porter would have to come this way. This is where you want the drop coverage, and Bismarck Biyombo's got to be up here with his feet set in a defensive stance. He's got to be able to stunt at the ball, get the dribble picked up, and recover, which you can do if you're up and your feet are set. But look at Biyombo here. Like, you're backpedaling. You're not up, and you're backpedaling. So you're not able to do anything here. Nothing. You're not stopping the ball. You wouldn't be able to recover if this player popped to the three-point line. Like, this is a disaster. Okay, so defending off of an offensive rebound is similar to transition defense. You got to communicate because people can be scrambled here. So this player coming up to take Garrison Matthews has to communicate, I've got Garrison Matthews. So Chris Paul knows, okay, I'm going to take this Rockets player here. See, you can see that communication doesn't happen because we have two Suns players going to Garrison Matthews and no one going to Kevin Porter. So that's not good. Okay, so Chris Paul is late getting over this flare screen right here. It's okay. Mikal Bridges does a nice job stunting from the backside here to help you. Stop. So Chris Paul, okay, now though you're good. So you're gonna have to have a little bit more urgency as Garrison Matthews flies off of this handoff here. Okay, like look at Chris Paul. Like you just stopped there for no reason. Like absolutely no reason. And now you're not gonna be able to guard this handoff.